Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Here we explore everything related to commerce education, whether you are in class 11, 12, pursuing your graduation, master, or even preparing for a net exam. This channel is for you. So without wasting our time, let's jump into our today's topic, that is valuation of goodwill. So first we discuss about meaning of goodwill. In accounting term, goodwill is nothing but the excess of a company's purchase price over its book value. इसका मतलब ये है कि गुडविल कुछ नहीं है, वो जस्ट क्या है, एक्सेस प्राइस है जो आपने प्राइस पे किया है जब आप कुछ कंपनी को एक्वायर करता है। जैसे कि आप जैसे कि कंपनी ए है जो कंपनी बी को परचेज कर रहा है, तो फिर कंपनी ए ने कंपनी बी को कितना में परचेज किया है, जैसे कि ले लो कि 10 लाख में परचेज किया है, मगर कंपनी का जो एक्चुअल वैल्यू था वो सिर्फ 5 लाख था। तो फिर जो एक्स्ट्रा 5 लाख पे किया है वो क्या हो गया, वो हो गया गुडविल का वैल्यू। सो वो कंपनी ने गुडविल का वैल्यू जो पे किया है, जो कंपनी को एक्वायर्ड कर रहा है वो कंपनी को। सो इट्स दैट ओनली। और or you can say that it's an intangible asset that's distinct from the value of business stock and other tangible assets. Or you can say that our goodwill is an intangible assets that we can't touch or that we can't feel ना, और जो distinct होता है from the value of business stock, जो other stock है business में उससे अलग होता है, और tangible assets जो दूसरा tangible assets है जैसे कि land building, ये सबसे अलग होता है। so वही है, और जिसको हम बैलेंस शीट में दिखाता है अलग से शो करता है कि intangible assets बोल के। so गुडविल कैलकुलेट करने का वेरियस वेज है जो हम आगे डिस्कस करेगा आगे वीडियोस में। सो ये मेरा फर्स्ट वीडियो है तो इतना कवर नहीं कर पाएगा, सो लिटिल नर्वस आल्सो। सो आईसीएआई जो डिफाइन किया है कि गुडविल को क्या बोल के, आईसीआई डिफाइंस इट इज एन इंटेंजिबल एसेट्स arising from business connection or trade name or reputation of an enterprise. Thus, goodwill is regarded as assets which is not tangible. That is, we can't touch or feel, right? And not perceivable to touch. It arises in a firm from business relation, good name, the good impression creates upon the customers. This, this is the overall meaning of valuation or meaning of goodwill. Let's move into the second slide, that is some definition of goodwill. Here we will learn some definitions, that is by Dr. Kenning. Defines goodwill as the present value of a firm's anticipated excess earnings. It means like current value of futures excess profits that a company expect to earn beyond what is considered a normal return on its assets or investment. That is what, like, with the help of, there is a saying like, with the help of goodwill, हम लोग super profit earn कर सकता है। With the help of only goodwill, like company is able to earn super profit, like more than the normal profit. No? It's otherwise it's in normal course of business, it's not possible. But with goodwill, if with good company with good reputation, good brand image, the company can earn super profit. That's what this Dr. Kenning want to say. Like, it is nothing but the present value of firms anticipated excess earning. In and second definition by, according to Lord Eldon, goodwill is nothing more than the probability that the old customer will resort to the old place. I wish you understand this, no? Like if the company is having good brand image, reputations, the old customers will, like, they will directly got attracted by that company, right? So that's what I want to say. The goodwill is, that is the goodwill. Like we will learn about in types of goodwill. This is actually what this is actually a rabbit type of goodwill. No? This is called rabbit goodwill. And And the third is Professor Dixie. When a man pays for goodwill, he pays for something which places him in a position of being able to earn more money than he would be able to do by his own unaided efforts. Yeah, like in the last definition, like as I said, जब एक कंपनी कोई परचेस करता है कोई बिजनेस को, तो ऑब्वियसली कुछ एक्सेस मनी पे करता है ना, तो वो जो एक्सेस मनी जो पे किया है उसको अनएडेड एफर्ट देता है जो फ्यूचर ईयर में अर्न कर सकने के लिए, फ्यूचर ईयर में अर्न कर सकने के लिए। जैसे कि हम जब गुडविल कैलकुलेट करता है, हम एक नंबर्स ऑफ ईयर परचेस लेता है। वाई वी टेक जस्ट रेंडमली हम लोग नहीं लेते हैं, जैसे कि 2 3 हो गया 5 हो गया, हम लोग इसे कुछ ईयर्स लेता है, उससे मल्टीप्लाई करता है जो भी हम लोगों का एवरेज प्रॉफिट या सुपर प्रॉफिट निकलता है, तो उससे हम मल्टीप्लाई करते हैं। क्यों करते हैं मीन्स कि हम फ्यूचर प्रॉफिट हमको कब तक, वो गुडविल से कब तक हमको प्रॉफिट मिलेगा, वो ईयर्स को हम काउंट करके हम मल्टीप्लाई करते हैं, तो हम अपना जैसे कि उसका मल्टीप्लाई करके काउंट करते हैं तो कि हम गुडविल निकाल सके। इसीलिए हम वो वो क्या लेते हैं, वो नंबर्स लेते हैं, नंबर ऑफ ईयर परचेज। जैसे कि हम कुछ परचेज किया तो कितना ईयर्स में हमको वो वापस मिलेगा, इसे टाइप से होने के लिए हम उसको ऐसे रेंडमली हम 2 3 4 ऐसे लेता है ना, उसी का बात कर रहे हैं। सो यही बोला है कि या ये स्लाइड में और कुछ ज्यादा नहीं है। Next slide. In this slide, from the above definition and explanations, the following points can be drawn. The first point is goodwill is a capacity to retain its customer, to attract more customers, and to sell more of its goods and services than what can be sold normally. Right? Like goodwill obviously help. And the second point is goodwill is a capacity to earn profit, super profit, as I said, which is more than normal profit in the concerned industry. Goodwill is an asset which is not visible but raises the worth of a business firm. Thus, with goodwill, the worth of the firm will be more than its book value. This is enough for this slide, and let's move into next slide. And the next is features of goodwill. Concept of goodwill has relevance only for a going concern business. This means that business like goodwill is relevance only for the business which are like carrying their business for long time, like um significantly for foreseeable future, no? The future like that is for very long term. Agar, if the business is carries out for the short term, like for like very short term, it loses its value. So there is no goodwill if the business doesn't carry for long term, or if the business doesn't carry for the short term. Like goodwill is there only if the business is carries out for a long term. And the second is goodwill is an abstract term. It has no physical existence. As we all know, goodwill is an intangible asset. So the goodwill has no physical appearance. So that's what the second point is saying. And the third point is And the third one is goodwill has the ability to generate additional income for the business firm like any other assets. As we all know, like goodwill can generate super profit, which is like impossible for the like if you are carrying on other kind of um, other business, other course of business, like and if you want to if you want to earn super profit, then it's like nearly impossible. But in case of if you have good reputation, good brand image, if you have good goodwill of your company, you can easily earn super profit. That's what the third point is about. And the fourth point is goodwill is an intangible asset, as we all know. And the fifth feature is And the fifth feature is it is attached with the firm and cannot be isolated from the business. It cannot be realized separately. As we all know, yeah, like in the business, like this goodwill is always attached with the business firm, either with the business firm or with the like manager of that firm or the CEO or whatever the main person, whatever the uh, main personnel operating the industry, like it always try to attach with the firm or the manager of the firm. And that we can't separate it from, like we can't separately sold it to other companies. Like we can't say other company we have this much goodwill, we are separating you or we are selling you, you buy this from us. We can't do that. Simply we can't do that. So that's what it want to say. Like if you want to solve our goodwill, we have to solve it with our company. So this is possible only at the time of dissolution of the firm, like when we are completely shutting down our business. No, at a time only we can do that. And second last point is goodwill of a firm represents the excess of real net worth of assets over their book value. As I said, like what the goodwill represents the excess of real net worth. Like uh, as I already gave you an example, the assets, the total value of your company is is less, but the money you are paying while like the solution of the farm or like when you are purchasing your company is excess, then the excess money you are paying is your like you're paying for the goodwill. That's what this point want to express. And the last point is goodwill is subjective in nature rather than objective. Uh, in this point, goodwill is subjective in nature rather than objective. This point want to say that is that uh, this value of the goodwill is depends on personal judgment and perceptions of perceptions rather than being determined by the exact or universally agreed upon measures. No, it is not like that. Like we will measure our goodwill, this and that. It's not like that. Like it's depend on people's perception, judgment, what they think about that company, about that organization, about that firm. It's all about that only. Like goodwill arises from the factors such as like reputation, customers, loyalty, employee relations, business locations, all of which like equally importance for the like goodwill, for the for having like good and attractive goodwill. So this much this much only for this slide. Let's move into next slide. For today, our last topic is types of goodwill. First, purchase goodwill, non-purchase goodwill. This non-purchase goodwill is also known as inherent goodwill. And third is positive goodwill, negative goodwill, dog goodwill, cat goodwill, rat goodwill. Types of goodwills are explained as follows. Purchase goods. First is purchase goodwill. So in purchase goodwill arise when a firm purchases part of assets or a whole business of another firm. This type of goodwill arises when the purchase consideration paid by the purchasing company is more than the value of total net tangible assets received. Excess of price paid to the seller when the actual price of the net assets is accumulated as paid for goodwill. चलो इस let's understand this with the example. जस्ट सोचो कि आपने क्या किया है टोटल परचेस कंसिडरेशन जब आपने कुछ कंपनी खरीदा जब कंपनी खरीदने का समय में कितना पे किया 1 लाख पे किया मगर वो कंपनी का नेटवर्थ जो कंपनी का जो नेटवर्थ नहीं जो कंपनी का जो वैल्यू है जो टोटल टेंजिबल एसेट्स जो एक्वायर्ड किया जो उसका वैल्यू है मगर सिर्फ उसका कितना 80,000 है जो उसका टेंजिबल एसेट्स का वैल्यू है मगर आपने जो एक्सिस पे किया है 20,000 का क्योंकि एक्चुअल तो 1 लाख था जो आपने 20,000 एक्सिस पे किया है वही है गुडविल उसी को बोलता है परचेज गुडविल जो आपने दूसरा कंपनी से परचेज किया है गुडविल दैट कंसिडर्ड एज परचेज गुडविल Second is non-purchase or inherent goodwill. Non-purchase or inherent goodwill is the goodwill of the firm creates through its own efforts and excellence. Here, additional revenue is generated through good image of the firm among the public and through self-respected customers of the firm is the non-purchase goodwill. This type of goodwill is internally generated and not recorded in the balance sheet until a transaction such as merger or acquisition or take place. So example is reputation, brand recognition, customer relations, skilled workforce and location etc. are the reason for additional earning. Like इसमें ये बोल रहा है कि नॉन परचेस और इनहेरेंट गुडविल में ये बोल रहा है कि जो इधर गुडविल होता है इसके लिए कोई पैसा पे नहीं करता है जैसे कि ये कंपनी खुद से ही अर्न करता है by their reputation, brand recognition, अच्छा ब्रांड होने का वजह से कस्टमर रिलेशंस, गुड कस्टमर रिलेशंस ये सब का वजह से कंपनी का पास होता है और ये कंपनी ये सच गुडविल को जो हम बैलेंस शीट में नहीं दिखा सकते क्योंकि इसका कोई वैल्यू नहीं है तो अभी तक जब तक क्योंकि हम अपना बैलेंस शीट में क्या दिखाते ओनली ओनली दोज लाइक जो न्यूमेरिकल टर्म में है वही दिखाते हैं राइट सो हियर तो इसमें तो ये न्यूमेरिकल टर्म में नहीं है तो इसको हम इसलिए बैलेंस शीट में नहीं दिखाएगा सो मगर बैलेंस शीट में आएगा जब हम जब मर्जर एक्विजिशन जब होगा तब मगर बैलेंस शीट में दिखाएगा तब तक ये बैलेंस शीट में नहीं आएगा सो दिस इज व्हाट नॉन परचेस और इनहेरेंट गुडविल. And the next point is positive goodwill and negative goodwill. First, positive. If the real worth of the net assets of the firm is more than their book value, then it is said that the firm is having a goodwill. It is called positive goodwill. As I said, that the book value and the word and all, we already discussed this in previous slide, so no need to discuss. And the second point is also positive goodwill arise when a company is acquired for a price higher than the fair market value of its identifiable net assets. वही बोला है कि पॉजिटिव गुडविल वो होगा जब कंपनी क्या होगा एक्वायर्ड फॉर ए प्राइस हायर देन द फेयर मार्केट वैल्यू ऑफ इट्स आइडेंटिफाइबल नेट जो उसका एसेट्स नेट एसेट्स है उससे ज्यादा में एक्वायर्ड किया है तो कंपनी के लिए वो पॉजिटिव गुडविल होगा. दिस प्रीमियम इज ऑफ्टन एट्रीब्यूट टू इंटेंजिबल एसेट्स सच एज strong brand, loyal customer base, सबका वजह से ये positive goodwill होता है. So this is what about positive goodwill. And the second is negative goodwill. In case the real worth of net assets of the firm is less than book value, then it is a case of negative goodwill. Just opposite of positive goodwill. Negative goodwill is like if the real worth of the net assets, जब तेरा पास कुछ net assets है, if the company has some net assets of a firm, if the company's net assets is less than the book value, then it is a case of negative goodwill. Suppose तुम ले लो जैसे कि example, the book value of net assets is 50,000. The book value जो तुम्हारा book value है net assets का 50,000 है, but the realizable value तुम उसको मगर कितना में सेल कर सकता है 1 लाख में जिसको तुमने सेल किया है 1 लाख में सेल किया मगर उसका वैल्यू कितना है 50,000 रुपए. Then the difference of 50,000 is value of goodwill. जो तुमने मार्केट प्राइस से तुमको ज्यादा मिल गया तो वो क्या होगा तेरा लिए गुडविल. व्हाट काइंड ऑफ गुडविल इज पॉजिटिव गुडविल. अगर रियलाइजेबल वैल्यू जैसे कि तुमने उसको बेचा है 30,000 मगर कितना का था 20 का था देन मीन्स इट्स ए रियलाइजेबल इट्स ए नेगेटिव गुडविल जैसे कि तुम्हारे लिए लॉस हो गया. नो the assets was of 50,000, right? But you sold it at a cost of 30,000. Then the difference of 20,000 is negative goodwill. And the next is dog goodwill. Dog has affinity to a person concerned. So the goodwill which is very much personal is called dog goodwill. Like this is the goodwill which is attached to the particular person concerned and not to the firm as a whole. Like this type of goodwill is not so valuable for business firm because it cannot transfer when the business is sold. Like simply the dog goodwill is that type of goodwill. जो वो type of goodwill है जो कंपनी से अटैच नहीं होता है. जो तुम्हारा मैनेजर है जो लीडिंग पर्सन है तेरा कंपनी में जो लीडिंग पर्सन है जो कंपनी में उससे अटैच होता है ये गुडविल जो. सो दिस टाइप ऑफ गुडविल को हम ट्रांसफर नहीं कर सकता है, सो इतना वैल्यूएबल नहीं होता है बिजनेस के लिए। जब हम बिजनेस को सोल्व करेगा उस समय हम उसको हम ट्रांसफर नहीं कर पाता है। So, and the next is get goodwill. Get is affinity to the house and not to a person. Goodwill, which is based on the activity of the farm as a whole, is called get goodwill. This goodwill is attached with the farm, business farm, and not with a person concerned. When the farm is sold, such goodwill is also automatically sold for a price, so it is transferable. This type of goodwill is the most valuable among all other type of goodwill. So simply this type of goodwill is get goodwill, जो क्या होता है वो बिजनेस से अटैच होता है, नॉट टू ए पर्सन से अटैच नहीं होती. सो ये डे टू डे एक्टिविटी लाइक which is based on activity of the farm as a whole and is called get goodwill. This goodwill is attached with the farm's business farm, not with a person. Right? Simply as बोला है कि you can understand, right? This goodwill अटैच नहीं होता है, किससे पर्सन से नहीं होता है, बिजनेस फर्म से अटैच होता है. सो व्हेन द बिजनेस बिजनेस को हम सोल्व करता है तो ये गुडविल को भी हम साथ ही साथ सोल्व कर सकते हैं और ये ट्रांसफरेबल है जिससे हम बिजनेस अर्न कर सकते हैं इन द फ्यूचर. So this type of goodwill is most valuable among all other types of goodwill. That's enough for this slide. Let's move into last topic for today's video, that is red goodwill. This type of goodwill is not a goodwill in the true sense. Such a goodwill is very temporary in nature, created through temporary attractions. Red goodwill is reflect the temporarily through customers who are here today and will go to another farm tomorrow. This type of goodwill has no value for the farm. Like this, ये गुडविल ये बोलता है कि जो बिजनेस फार्म होता है उसके लिए ये गुडविल इतना वैल्यूएबल नहीं होता है, क्योंकि डिपेंड्स होता है कस्टमर्स के ऊपर. कस्टमर्स आज यहाँ है, कल वहाँ होगा, क्योंकि कस्टमर्स जहाँ पे अच्छा सर्विस देगा, जहाँ पे अच्छा क्वालिटी देगा, वहीं पे मूव करेगा. सो ये दिस टाइप ऑफ गुडविल क्या मूव करता है वन प्लेस टू अनदर. सो इसीलिए ये गुडविल इतना वैल्यूएबल नहीं होता है फॉर एक फार्म के, जो जैसे कि क्योंकि काइंड ऑफ एक्सटर्नल होता है, ये टाइप ऑफ एक्सटर्नल काइंड ऑफ एक्सटर्नल होता है, जो एक्सटर्नल टाइप ऑफ गुडविल होता है जो कंपनी का बाहर में रहता है, तो इतना इफेक्ट नहीं होता है, जो profitable नहीं होते for the farm in the future course of earning. So this much for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Have a nice day.